Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gun Gym. Today's video is going to be about the Smith & Wesson model 642 airweight 38 special plus P. First folks, safety comes first. We're going to check it, make sure the cylinders are empty. I'm going to show you that we are empty. God, don't you love the smooth cylinder on that? Look at that. Beautiful. Alrighty, some of the features to this gun, folks, are it is a J-frame. The frame is made of aluminum alloy. The barrel itself and the cylinder are made out of stainless steel. This is a 2-inch barrel. I actually call it the snub nose. It has about, in my opinion, a 10 to 10.5 trigger pull. Reset, not that good. But for what it is, for being a revolver, it's good. This grip that I have on here did not come with this gun. It came with a stock gun, but because I have such a long hand, I would say, which is kind of funny, but I don't like my little pinky hanging off, so I bought a Hogue extended grip. Okay, as you can see it from that way, you can see it from all sides. Nice grip, good for the hand, good to hold. Great. Like I said again, this is a 5-shot revolver. I can't say enough good things about this gun. I bought this gun about 5 years ago. A funny little story about this gun, and I don't want to take forever on it, but a funny little story, and it's not really funny, but it was at the time because the person that explained it to me was kind of laughing too. I walked into our local gun store, and at that point in time, you have to check your weapon in to make sure that it's not loaded at the door, that people want to see that, and which is understandable. Anyway, they checked my weapon. I took it back and I pulled, which was a Ruger 40, and I put it back inside of my waist. Well, I had proceeded to walk up to the counter, and when I did, a gentleman came up to me, middle-aged gentleman, and we got to talking for a few minutes. And he started to talk about, I was talking about certain things I saw inside of the building, and there was some military memorabilia inside of there. There was a Gatling gun. There was a bunch of different things that were in the building. Very, very nice, very neat actually. Well, he proceeded to tell me that he is the one who actually bought and knows all about that stuff. Well, we started talking. It kept going on and on and on. Well, anyway, I had told him what I had, and he said, "Can I see it?" And I said, "Sure." So I lifted it up, my shirt, pulled it out, and set it on the counter. Well, he looked at it, and he said, "Boy, son, that's a toy." And I went, "What?" Looked at him kind of funny like this, and I shook my head, and I went, "What do you mean that's a toy?" He goes, "That's a toy." He said, "What I'm going to show you now is a tool." And I said, "Okay, well, elaborate on that again." Well, he did, and he proceeded to tell me that he was a retired New York police officer, and one night he had an intruder break into his house. He was upstairs and his wife was downstairs. And they kept, that intruder, had held his wife at gunpoint, thinking that, I guess there was money in the house or what he was wanting to do. Well, anyway, the intruder wanted to know exactly where everything was, and she kept saying she didn't have anything. So the intruder kept saying, "Well, somebody's in this other house besides you." And they walked upstairs, ended up opening the door to their room. Husband immediately woke up, looked over, and the gun was pointed at her head. He grabbed on the side of his bed, and he pulled a 9mm out. As he went to pull and fire, it jammed. Well, right then, the situation started to escalate. Well, he had, not much choice that he can do. So his second option was what was under his pillow. And what did he have? The Smith & Wesson 38 plus P, airweight. He pulls it, takes 2 shots, and folks, we all know what happened after that. And I don't think it was very good. Well, anyway, he started to talk a little bit more, and we got into some more conversations, and he said, "Son, this is why I tell you, what you have is a toy, this is a tool." So after talking to him for a while and we sat there and we were discussing certain things, he proceeded to show me this air weight. I held it, I shot it around, and he said, well, would you like to go shoot it? And I said, sure, I would. Well, this local gun store happened to have a gun range. Ended up going in, renting the gun, going into the gun range and shooting it. I did very, very, very good with this. I think I got all 5 shots pretty close together. You know, nothing was off to the left, nothing was off to the right. Everything was just right there, bundled. So at that point in time, I said, I'll take it. Well, then I had my wife that was there with me too. And she caught a little bit of an interest on what he was talking about himself. And she proceeded to get a 380, a Taurus 380 air weight. We rented that one too and took it inside of the range. My wife enjoyed that gun, so we ended up purchasing that. This gun, folks, I can't say enough about. It is a great concealed carry gun. And I'm going to show you that right now by putting it in my waist. And you tell me if you can see it. And here we go. In my waist, my shirt. I know I might be a little heavy here, but anyway. You don't see it, do you? There's no outline. There's nothing you can see through the shirt. And I'm wearing somewhat of a tight shirt. Speaking of the shirt, the Gungeon. Something my wife made for me. That's the front. And let me see if I can get around because it's a little bit of tight in here. But there's the back. Anyway, enough of that because I think I might have showed you my butt a little bit. So anyway, let me take it out. Well, like I said before, I can't say enough about this revolver, folks. It's great, but for some people, my opinion, it might not be a good beginning gun. It is kind of heavy. Like I told you before, the trigger pull is about between 10 and 10.5. So it might be a little heavy for a beginner or an average person to be able to fire. I think that the gun is a great gun. You know, you just can't say enough about this gun. I mean, it's a phenomenal gun. I mean, it's just great. My preferred ammo for this gun I use is the Hornady Critical Defense 110 grain FTX. This is what the ammo looks like. Let me get you a good look, viewer. See that? Nice. Anyway, getting back to the gun. So that it is lightweight. It's got a brushed, I think, let me check to be sure on that, just to be sure if it's, I think it's a brushed metal or a brushed alloy. Let's check to be sure. It's actually a matte brushed finish, folks. I was wrong. The rubber grips, like I said, that came with it before weren't to my liking. It didn't feel right, so that's why I chose to pick the hoe grip. Actually, if you look at Peg Leg Pete over here, he's to the right of me. This guy here, you know, he'll talk one of these days. But he actually liked this gun too. I've had him as long as I've had this gun. And for 3 years, this was my carry. But I decided that even though it's 5 shots, I might have needed a little bit more because of today's society and the way things are going on today, that I might need a little bit more than just 5 shots. But if you can't hit somebody in 5 shots or the first 2, by God, you have a problem. And if that doesn't work, and if you can't hit them with 5 or 10 shots, then you better run. Because that person is Iron Man. Well, I can't say much more about this gun, but I would recommend this gun to anyone. It's a very strong, sturdy gun. You can drop it. I have many a times. I've dropped it from getting out of my car to multiple times just by accident. I've dropped this gun. And as you can see, and I'm going to give you a little bit closer of a look, there's no scratches anywhere. I'm going to turn it upside down so you can look at it. Nothing going wrong with it. You just don't see anything. This gun is very, very sturdy and very strong. It's a gun kind of like my high point up there, the ugly thing that I have behind me back here. I think you can basically run over it and do anything you want with it, and it still will fire after that. Because like I said before, folks, revolvers never, ever, ever jam. And there's not much to them. They're so easy to clean. There's not much to take apart in them. I mean, yeah, you can take the cylinder and change cylinders, but other than that, there's not much to take apart in this firearm. It's just so smooth. I mean, literally smooth. In my opinion, and this is only my opinion, you don't have to buy it. But, in my honest opinion, because of this gun, is why in last video that I had, you saw multiple revolvers that I had. The Ruger Vaquero, the Ruger Super Black Hawk, the Colt 32. I have a couple of Heritages in there. Oh, I've got, I think, let me see, let me look at it. Yeah, I got a lot in there. I'm counting about at least 10 in front of me right now. And if you remember the video, last week's video, if you look, you'll see about 10 of them. Anyway, folks, I just want to say that the Smith & Wesson 642 Airweight is a very good, very reliable carry weapon. That's all for today. Join us again for our next video, and please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to see specific content, please put it in the comments. And before I leave, I'd like to say one more thing. There's a channel I'd like for y'all to visit on YouTube. It's called A Guy's View. These are two compelling gentlemen. They're funny. They talk about multiple topics. They talk about from, especially sports, but they talk about politics, movie stars, you name it, it's compelling. It's an hour-long podcast every single time. And boy, is it an hour long. Sometimes they get a little overboard. And they pick on each other too, which is kind of funny too. And they kind of tell their own stories that they've had with their parents or whatever they have done. But they're a compelling group of guys. So please, tune into them. A Guy's View. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video for another compelling gun talk. Peace out.